Jozef. Thanks for being here on time, and the floor is yours. We'll listen to your presentation.
Thank you. Okay. Again, thank you all for joining and for taking the time. Adam already touched base. This presentation will be more technical, and I'm going to show you the products which are available in the GFI Unlimited portfolio. So basically 2 products which you can get for the same price and easily use them. One of the product is the KerioControl. The KerioControl is a generation firewall, a unified threat management. Now, we in GFI understand the needs of the SMB companies, and definitely the companies need to have an active of their network. There are many reasons why this is important. Mainly, you want to save the data, you want to save the performance of your users, you want to save the users as they are, or you need... Yeah?
We have to reconnect. Okay, it's okay. Just open the presentation one more time and we are listening to you.
All right, I see. Better now?
Yes, please. Yes, we can hear you. Now it's okay.
I think there is some...
Yeah, Jozef, we can hear you.
Issue. Let me
try.
Continue. There are 2 products in our portfolio which are very popular. They're popular because every single SMB company have a firewall, so they need to secure the perimeter and receive emails. Let me just go to this browser. Yeah. So it seems that there are some issues with... Let me try to continue. Hopefully everything will be fine. So the first product which I wish to share with you is the KerioControl. The KerioControl is the firewall which is going to act as a security feature in your network. So as a firewall, you will find all the generic features what you would expect from a firewall. So you'll find the traffic rules where you can pretty much very easy create a rule which will block a certain traffic towards a certain user or a certain source. It's very easy to understand, and the simplicity of the product is one of the things which our users likes the most. Simplicity, how you can understand, how you can control and react to the threats out there. So a rule could be created very easily where you can find what you want to do. If you want to block, you can define the sources, you can define the destination, the services. So all of this is available in the traffic rules, but of course the traffic rules are available for all the different products. One of the most wanted feature when it comes to the firewalls is the IPS, the Intrusion Prevention and Detection System. The IPS is basically shielding your infrastructure from all the botnets, from all the attackers which are just literally repeating all the attacks without an hesitation, and they are trying to breach the defenses and so on and so on. So the intrusion prevention system in our KerioControl could be set up very easy. It's only a checkbox. After the checkbox is being done, then literally the system will automatically be blocking the intruders, which you can very easily verify in the logs. And the logs in the KerioControl are very extended. You can find a lot of information there which you can use to enhance the security or enhance the policies already built, and of course to troubleshoot or perform the forensic investigation. So these are basically all the logs which are going through the intrusion prevention and detection system, where you can learn what kind of things have been blocked, what kind of packets have been dropped, and so on and so forth. Also, as a part of the KerioControl is the antivirus. The antivirus is very needed for the firewall to have. The antivirus obviously is going to check for the viruses present in the downloads or in the traffic which are going to be done by your users. And to secure the users, to secure the user traffic is a very important task for any administrator. The main reason why is that the user is basically the main vulnerability in every network. The main vulnerability from a perspective that your employees, your users are not IT professionals. They are not focused on the internet, on the cyber security. On the contrary, they are going to do a lot of mistakes. They are going to go to websites they shouldn't. They are going to click on the attachments in the emails. They are going to click on the links in the emails. They are going to fall into traps which have been tailored through a social engineering by the hackers. So this is the main focus why you need to have the security and why you need to have the antivirus installed on your endpoints, why you need to have the antivirus available in the firewall. Besides of the antivirus, the KerioControl also consists of the content filtering. The content filtering, I would say, is a step where you can go ahead before your users will do the step. Yeah, it's exactly because of the links which are available in the phishing emails, the links which the users can access without a clear permission. Yeah, so you can think forward and you can block those links, you can block those websites. So basically, you're going to prevent your users by accessing those websites and block the users so they will not be downloading any harmful content from those websites. The content filtering in our case consists of two main features. One is the application awareness and the second is the KerioControl web filter. Of course, the HTTPS filtering is also available, which you can turn on and turn off, but in this case, you'll also need to bring on some SSL certificates as the traffic will be actively decrypted. After that, it will be examined and re-encrypted again and then served to the client, so to the employee or to the user. The content rules, as with the traffic rules, are very easy, very simple to follow. You can just easily click on add, type in the name of the filter. I don't know, for example, block YouTube. You can choose what will be the detected content. You can, for example, go directly and pick up the URL host name. You can pick up the URL groups, or you can type in the file names you want to block. Or you can go through the predefined categories. There are, as far as I remember, around 500 categories. So you can go through the whole list. You can find what kind of application, what kind of website you want to block, and simply add it into the rule. So in this case, YouTube. Yeah, so let's do YouTube and YouTube upload. So this is our detected content, and then you can specify the source. So from whom the traffic will be blocked. Yeah, so it could be a user, it could be an IP address, it could be an IP address group. Pretty much the users are the most popular ones because the IP address is, of course, an endpoint somewhere in the network, but it's without an identity. And once you're going to add the user, then an IP address or IP addresses in that matter will suddenly have an identity, so you know who you are blocking, so who should not go there, or for whom this traffic will not be considered as business critical. The KerioControl is integrating with Active Directory or Open Directory, so we can do a live lookups of the users, so we know from where the users are accessing the critical business resource, which is the internet, and they can literally pull all the created rules along with them, no matter where they go. After they will log in into the computer, they're on that computer as well. So let's do for this user. And finally, the action. So we can, as with the traffic rules, you can block, you can deny. So let's do drop. So this is how easy and how simple you can create the traffic rules, which can save a lot of money eventually from both perspectives, that you are going to save the resources, that means the internet connection, or you're going to prevent any attacks or any data leakage which could happen from the specific users. Those content filtering rules could be also embedded into the bandwidth. So the bandwidth management is then literally controlling the internet resource. So you can specify how big bandwidth could be used by specific users, by specific IP addresses, by specific hosts, or specific applications. Obviously, different applications have different consumption, and also different applications have different impact on the revenue or the business as it is. So this is a very good business tool to control it. Besides of those main features, you can find a lot of other features in the KerioControl. You can find the proxy server, you can find the security settings where you can, for example, through the connection limits, you can fight denial of service attacks. You can find the DHCP server, obviously. You can do the IPv6 route advertisements. You can do the routing table. You can specify the accounting and monitoring, because the part of the KerioControl firewall is also advanced statistics, where you can find exactly which user when was viewing what kind of website, what kind of application he was using, how much data he was consuming. And of course, these statistics will apply to the GDPR. So you need to be in control, and you need to know who is able to view those statistics, who is able to view that data. So you will not go to any legal issue. And other than that, all this information is also stored locally on the KerioControl, on the hard drive of the KerioControl, and all this information is encrypted. So also from that perspective, I can say that it's GDPR compliant. Also, KerioControl can do the high availability. So we can do the active passive mode. So if you have another KerioControl, then you can easily do the high availability without a problem. You can do a lot of other things, like you can force the authentication to the users. You can turn on the two-factor authentication for the VPN users. Also, the VPN is part of the KerioControl, where I can proudly say that we have our own VPN protocol, which is simply called the Kerio VPN server or the Kerio VPN protocol, and it is very easy to set up. I mean, of course, you can do the IPsec, which is a bit more complex, but with the Kerio VPN, you can be up and running in a matter of 1 minute. And the same applies on your users. We also do have our own KerioControl VPN client. So you can log in very easily. You can add in the connection, the server, your username, obviously, and the password you wish to watch all the VPN users in the stats. Let me just close that one. VPN clients. So we should expect to see, once it's loaded, used to logged in. So we can see what operating system, we can see the credentials, we can see the status. So you can see a lot of things, and a lot of which is very, very valuable in these days when majority of our employees are working from home. So this being said, we can jump to another product, which is the KerioConnect. And one last thing is that the KerioConnect and KerioControl are having one special thing, which is MyCarrier. MyCarrier is basically a cloud-based complementary central management. Yeah. So from the central management, you can manage all your KerioControl instances and KerioConnect instances, which is very valuable if you are an MSP or you are a reseller who is willing to manage multiple clients. So you have, let's say, KerioControl deployed in multiple clients. You have KerioConnect and the service provided to multiple clients. So you have a central location where you can control all, where you can share the IP address list or block list. You don't need to do a duplicate work. That's the point. So it's saving a lot of time, and it's free. So once you are using the KerioControl or KerioConnect, the MyCarrier is there for the taking. So KerioConnect, as I mentioned in the beginning, KerioConnect is a mail server. So as a mail server, it can offer you pretty much all the features you would like to have. It has a client, obviously, called KerioConnect client. So it's free. You can, if you are using KerioConnect, you can easily use the KerioConnect client. It supports all the major operating system, including Linux, Mac, and Windows. So from the user perspective, obviously you can send and receive emails, you can share the folders, you can do the RSS feeds, you can do the chat, as the chat is embedded into the client itself. The chat is powered by the XMPP protocol. You can create and share the calendar items and calendar things. You can do the contacts, you can share the contacts, you can do the task, you can share the task, notes, whatsoever. Also, we do have the integration with the Outlook, as we do understand that Microsoft Outlook is still by far the most popular email client, so we have the full integration with that. This is from the client side, and from the server side, you can manage all the services available. You can create multiple domains, because the KerioConnect is a multi-domain platform. So as I mentioned, if you are a reseller, if you are an MSP, then you can easily have one server when you can serve multiple smaller customers. Obviously, each of the smaller customers will have their own domain, so you can add quota, how much they can have. This browser is really reacting very slow. I'm not sure because of the streaming or just because of the browser. Nevertheless, so you can add the quota, control the messages, how big they can be, how fast the cleanup will happen. You can do the aliases. You can connect to the directory service. As before, we support the Active Directory or the Open Directory from Apple. You can add custom logo, so you can do all these things from the basically admin domain control, add the SMTP delivery in case that it will act as an SMTP relay. You can choose the archiving and the backup. You can backup the entire configuration. You can backup all the users, all the messages. You can backup to the remote address, to remote hard drive. You can do a lot of stuff from this perspective. Obviously, for some services like SMTP-S or IMAP-S, the SL certificates will come in place, so you can create a self-signed certificate if you are happy with it, or you can import a certificate signed by the authority. Then you have dozens of advanced features. You can also do the software updates automatically. You can do the master authentication, the store directory. The security features from the wide perspective could be controlled over here. But then you have all the other security features as a part of the spam filter. So over here, you can control the Kerio anti-spam filter, which is powered by Bitdefender and Patch Spam Assassin. You can maintain the block list, custom rules, caller ID, sender policy frameworks, gray listing, spam repellent. So multiple tiers or multiple levels of anti-spam techniques, which all need to be passed in order to email be delivered to the recipient. And this is very important, because as I was mentioning during the KerioControl, the user is the biggest vulnerability. So obviously every user has an email, and if we have the email, then we can receive a malicious email from an attacker. So the point of all the anti-spam and antivirus techniques in all the email solutions is to prevent this from happening. And as many layers you have, that successful you can be in this task. So then you can have, of course, the antivirus, which is powered by the Bitdefender, as with the KerioControl. You can create multiple attachment filtering rules or message filters, where you can create what will happen with the outgoing or incoming emails. From the outgoing, then you can create multiple stuff which can help you to create some sort of a DLP solution, so data leakage prevention. This is also very important, because from time to time, the employees could be angry, or they can misbehave, and they can share a very valuable information with a third party, which obviously you don't want to allow. So the outgoing rules can help to prevent it, or at least to track it, and then you can start ask questions why you did it or why your employee did it. So, and as before, you can connect the KerioConnect with the MyCarrier, as with the KerioControl, so you can manage both solutions from a single place. Then there are, of course, extended logs where you can troubleshoot, you can do the forensic investigation. The logs will help you to understand what kind of rules you need to create, what kind of message filtering rules you need to create, all these things. Then you can also manage the users. You can create groups, you can create aliases, mailing lists, you can have different users for different domains, obviously, and you can manage, of course, the rights and the quota for individual users. So you have the full control because it's your own mail solution, your own mail server. So you know exactly what is happening, exactly who is using it, and how the users are using the resource of your mail server. So I guess that from a very wide overview of the two products, this is it. Of course, there is a lot to talk about, and we can spend hours and hours, but we don't have that time. So
thank you, Jozef,
I guess
for your presentation.